In this video, I'm going to compare professional runners with some triathletes and cyclists. How many hours do they weekly train? We're going to compare how many hours, for example,
athletes like Tadej Kipchoge versus Kristian Blumenfelt, the famous triathlete, or Tadej Pogocar, the cyclist, train.
and I'm going to explain why, in my opinion, cross-training for runners is crucial at least once or twice a week. And I made a ride on the bike myself today as well. I just finished my 10 kilometer easy run, and now I'm heading out on a bike ride. It's getting hot out there, so it will be a sweaty ride. I usually perform 1 or 2 bike rides each week to add some extra endurance training. Let's go on my ride.
I used to be a speed skater when I was in college, so in summer season we switched to riding the bike.
Well, let's start to compare these top endurance athletes by the amount of hours they put into the sports. Down below in the comments I put some links where I found the data of different training programs from these athletes.
Let's first zoom into the most famous marathon runners of this moment, Kipchoge and Tadej Kipchoge, the current and former marathon world record holders. First, good to mention, Tadej Kipchoge does some cross-training once in a while. However, this is mainly when he has a niggle or a real injury. Kenyan runners don't incorporate real cross-training into their training schedule yet. However, the volume they can handle running is incredible. Kipchoge is known to run around 160 miles, 250 kilometers, and even up to 185 miles or 300 kilometers a week.
Well, looking at the average pace of the total running volume, most of the work is done in the easy zone or zone 1, which comes down to 4 minutes per kilometer or 6:30 per mile. But of course there are also some faster workouts in there.
Probably the average pace with some faster workouts in there is around 3:45 per kilometer. If we multiply 250 kilometers times 3:45 per kilometer, we reach 15.5 hours for a training week.
Tadej Kipchoge does not run as much as Kipton during the week. On average, he used to run like 120 or 200 kilometers a week, where most professional runners like Elliot run around 200 kilometers in weekly volume.
If we multiply 200 kilometers by 3:45 per kilometer, we reach 2.5 hours for a week. So let's say in a good week, elite marathoners run around 15 hours per week. Now let's compare this to well-known triathlete Kristian Blumenfelt, the Olympic triathlon champion, and also unofficially the first man to break the sub-7 hour Ironman in 6:44.25. He's now aiming to reclaim his Olympic title in Paris. However, this is going to be a tough challenge.
I found an article with his yearly Strava data from 2020 when he went to the Tokyo Olympics. The link is down below of the article.
Looking at his weekly training schedule, he rides the bike for around 300 kilometers. This translates to 9 hours of riding. With 100 kilometers of running, it translates to approximately 8 hours of running. And last, he's also 5 hours per week in the swimming pool. This comes down to a total of 23 hours weekly. This is 8 hours more than the marathon runners.
Good to mention is that Kristian Blumenfelt's 10,000 meter track personal best is 29:42, which is quite insane for someone with some extra body mass also for swimming in his upper body. However, he also managed to run a sub 30-minute 10K during his Olympic distance in triathlon. So probably with a good effort, he could run a sub 29-minute 10K even.
It's a bit hard to find a specific training schedule of a rider like multiple Tour de France winner Tadej Pogocar or Jonas Vingegaard. However, to find some general statistics is not hard. Pro cyclists ride just above 30,000 kilometers a year on the bike, of which 30 to 40% in competition. Here we see a list of the top 20 who rode the most kilometers in 2023. Tadej Pogacar rides 2 Grand Tours, which is already 7,000 kilometers in the saddle in total. He already won the Giro d'Italia and he wants to win the Tour de France this year as well. Just above 30,000 kilometers means around 1,000 hours in the saddle a year, which comes down to around 20 hours each week.
To me, this is not surprisingly high. Probably in some harder trainings week, they can even ride up to 30 hours in the saddle. However, on a yearly average, they average between the runners and the triathletes in terms of hours.
So runners have an average of 15 hours a week, triathletes 23 hours, cyclists 20 hours. I was expecting the cyclists to end on top, so this was a surprise.
This leaves a gap of between 5 to 8 hours between runners and other top endurance athletes. And that's why I think it's crucial to do some extra cross training, especially for long distance runners, to build some extra endurance. Especially if you struggle to run a high volume or at least 100 kilometers slash 70 miles a week, then it could be very beneficial to do some cross training as well.
Usually ride the bike for cross training, like I said, although I also use the cross trainer once in a while, and it's a good way to get some extra hours in for the endurance and also to prevent the extra risk of injury, but you still make more hours.
Okay, off the bike, now you can hear me better. I used to do 1 or 2 rides a week where I ride 2 to 5 hours. And when I get injured, the time I spent on the bike even increases because I can maintain my endurance training and my aerobic base still on the bike. And also variance in your training. I don't mind to make some extra hours, a few weeks on the bike as a runner. And also, there's of course, like I mentioned, no injury risk on the bike. And when I get injured, I can even do some threshold or interval workouts. I pick a hill and I just ride it up for 2 or 3 minutes very fast, and then come down again and repeat that for 10 times. Very hard workout on the bike as well. This was it today about the comparison between different elite endurance athletes, and also I gave my opinion, of course, on cross training. And as always, if you still go out there today, have fun and get on the run.